Hey YouTube, it's been a while. Nothing much been happening at the early spring, but now it's bass season, so we got some crayfish in the tank here. There's a lot more than it looks because they're all hiding, and we had a lot more yesterday, but we went out and caught some smallies. So today I just want to see if they're going to eat a little bit of this catfish tail. That one in the back there found it. Oh, he's got it. They should start to swarm after they figure out what's going on. Oh yeah, they're figuring it out. Coming from all directions here. From the corner of the tank too. It's like a migration. Oh, there he goes. That happened a lot quicker than I thought, actually. Yeah, they're coming out of all their dens and whatnot, seeing what's going on. There they go. That piece of catfish will be pulled apart in about an hour. In the back, they're fighting over who gets there first. Not much in the corner going on anymore. Most of them under that hut there. Probably about 30 more of them this morning, but my brother took some up to Elk Creek and get some fishing in. That's creepy. That's why you don't want to fall asleep in a creek. These things are probably the best bait ever for smallmouth bass, no matter what time of year, where you're fishing for them. Chances are, if you pull up a smallmouth out of rocky bottom, it's going to be spitting up crayfish on the way up. Largemouth bass kind of like these too. When they're on the spawn beds, sometimes it's easier to use a crayfish for them. Bowfin catfish like these too. And if you got pet turtles, you probably feed them some of these too. Everyone's trying to get a turn in there. There's some monsters in that creek. These ones, this one right in front of me, it's probably about 2 inches long, and the 2 to 3 inch range from claw to tail. It's probably what you're going to want to use for smallmouth bass usually. Largemouth bass, I don't really care how big it is, but from Erie, Pennsylvania anyway, we've noticed that these medium-sized ones usually do better. If you're fishing anywhere in Erie Bay, like north or south pier, use smaller crayfish, you'll get tons of rock bass. They can't resist these either. Oh yeah, now they're all going on top. By the end of the month here, this whole tank bottom will be covered, and drop a little piece of fish in there like that, and they'll just pile up on it. It's real easy to keep these guys too. We got a 55-gallon tank and an aerator, and just 2 regular filters. Nothing real special about it. If you live in a warmer area, you're going to want to keep these guys cool if you can. But oxygen is probably the most important thing for these guys. Doesn't really matter how bad your water quality is. They should be fine. Just keep the oxygen going in there. We just poured this straight from the hose, so it was chlorinated yesterday, but when the air goes through the water, it helps dechlorinate it faster, so this whole tank here doesn't have any more chlorine, but there's nothing special. You just put them in some water and get a bubbler going, and without the filters, it'll probably last like 5 or 6 days. But when you got the filters, you can keep them forever, really, as long as you're running the tank. We're going to put more structure in here. I'll show you guys a little bit how to keep a crayfish tank for bait. You're going to want enough structure for all of them so they don't have to fight over it. Once they start getting territorial in here, they'll start ripping each other apart, and then no one gets to use them for bait. So basically we just use 3/4 inch to inch PVC pipe and stack them on top of each other. We'll get a video a couple days from now and show you how that works. My brother's got his GoPro now, so maybe he'll show you these guys in action. Any creek going into whatever body of water you're fishing, it's probably going to have these crayfish. For those of you who don't know how to catch crayfish, you basically lift up any flat rock and scoop under it with a net, and you'll have a crayfish. Late spring, early summer is probably the best time to catch them. You can catch them with your hands, you can use a minnow trap for them. Bait it with oily fish, like that catfish brought them in a couple seconds. So you can use catfish. We also used to use trout, leftover trout from the earlier spring. You just keep your carcasses in a freezer if you got a freezer. Keep the heads, and those are great crayfish bait. You can also hand line these guys. If it's a deeper creek and you don't want to wade in there, tie a piece of fish on, and when you feel them nibbling at it, do it just like a blue crab. If you're from the coast, you just kind of pull it in real slow and then scoop the net under him real quick before he comes off. You can even get like 3 or 4 at a time. I'm doing that sometimes. If you guys are bored with this, go ahead and exit the video, but I kind of like watching these crayfish swarm, so I'm just going to sit here, and for any of you who are bored at 3 a.m. on YouTube looking for cool stuff, maybe this is interesting, I don't know.